Welcome back to the Martial Arts Mindset Podcast. My name is Rachel Rose, and today I have a very, very special guest with me. He is probably and possibly the most loved and liked boxer in the British scene right now, based on the fact that even Simon Jordan seems to have a soft spot for him, which says a lot because Simon can be quite harsh with a lot of people. He is the White Rhino, the Doncaster De La Hoya, and the new WBA Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. It's Mr. Dazzling Dave Allen. Hi, Dave.
I know that was a good introduction. That I enjoyed that.
I thought you would. I like you
No, it
think
was
that
good. Yeah, no, it was good.
good. I'll take that as a compliment.
No, it was good. Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. It was good. I thought it was good.
Enthusiastic. Brilliant. I
It's been a long week. It's been a long week. All enthusiasm is out of me. There's none left.
I know, I can imagine. You've been speaking to a lot
Yeah,
of people this week, haven't you?
it's been a bad week. Yeah, I went. I had two boxers boxing last night. Um, I reckon last night, right? I had 1,000 pictures taken
Wow.
and shook about 2,000 hands.
Does your face hurt from smiling?
In the end, do you know what, like you have to like because I'm tall. I pitch loads of kids and I just get like bending down. It's it, I would never, that's the thing. Like I would never say no to it ever. And in the end, I'm quite a nice guy, really. Like in terms of like, I've never let anybody down. So I've done interviews all week and stuff like that. And I'm absolutely knackered. And people are like, well, bloody hell, Dave, you're not on a building site and stuff, but it's hard. It's been tiring.
It is tiring.
Yeah,
You,
yeah,
you,
it's tiring. Yeah, I've got the kids. I've got the kids on my own till tomorrow night. Tiring. Um, Feeling sorry for myself today.
you're allowed to.
I've been ill since Riyadh. I've had a chest infection for 6 months as well. Can you hear that?
I could hear it when you
I
were at
did it.
the
Yeah. Oh
weigh-in.
god. Yeah. Just life's like that, isn't it? I think the biggest highs are always followed by being a bit low, really. Do you know what I mean? But there's no reason to be. I have no reason to be ungrateful. But yeah,
I don't think
that's
it's a.
just how it goes.
I don't think it's about ungrateful. I think it's a natural. If you think about all the serotonin, the cortisol, everything that goes up, it naturally has to rebalance in the system. So it's not really surprising that your body's going to come down.
Yeah, it's just I don't sound ungrateful. Like, oh, I want to take pictures and do media and whatever else, but tired,
Mm.
tired now.
Well, you'll be happy to know that the questions that I want to ask you might be a bit different to the ones you've already asked, or you're going to hate it completely. But I'm grateful for your time anyway.
Well, I'll
Um,
do it regardless. I'll
I know.
answer them regardless. I'll pretend to enjoy them, even if I don't. So it's all right.
I won't take it personally either way. Somebody commented on a video of us talking, saying that it was like two Ronnies on speed, which I don't know if it was a compliment, but I took it as one. And
Yeah, I've seen them. He sent me the link to the video. I watched it. Someone said it's horrible watching Dave Allen flirt. Someone put something. I'm not really a flirty guy, me. Like I don't. I wouldn't. I'm not really flirtatious.
but I also
I
didn't see
don't
how they
think.
picked that up either. I didn't feel like it was a flirtatious vibe.
I'm a very awkward. I'm a very awkward person.
Oh, I don't think that.
I think I'm awkward. I think I'm a bit awkward. Um, yeah, a bit awkward. That's not me flirting. That's me. That's me being awkward. I'm an awkward guy, to be honest.
I'm
But the
gonna
comments were good. Yeah, they made me laugh. Some of them I thought that was good.
Yeah, it was good, and I enjoyed our first conversation. So I'm looking forward to chatting with you again. I mean, the one of the first questions I wanted to ask, which I'm going to go jump straight into interviewing, is the Dave that I met on the Wednesday, energetically speaking, was a completely different Dave to the one that I saw going into the fight on the Saturday. And is that at this point in your career? Because obviously you've been doing this a long
Oh
time.
yeah, it was Wednesday. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, go on.
What?
I was confused. Yeah, the press conference was Wednesday, wasn't it? I
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
it was Wednesday. Yeah,
Oh,
it was
sorry.
Wednesday.
Yeah,
Usually
sorry.
Thursday.
The week
I'm
before
with
the
you. The
fight.
press conference. The
Yes.
press conference Thursday. I got it.
Yeah. So your energy then was very relaxed, very light-hearted, almost like I don't know, there was just a lot more fluidity in your body, a lot more fluidity in your energy. And then on the fight night, there was like a complete switch where you looked extremely solid, unwavering. It was a very different energy. You've been doing this fight game for a really long time now. Is that switch a conscious switch, or is it something that you've now kind of programmed into the body that when the fight comes around, or is it almost primal? Like it's fight time. I need to.
I never feel angry when I box. I
Not
never
anger. I
feel
wouldn't
like,
say it was anger.
I never feel, I feel the same. I always feel when I box, I don't really feel anything really. Do you know, I'm not a hard man at all. Do you know, never really been one to be in trouble or scrapping and stuff. Um, I like to think of myself as like a decent bloke, really. You know, big lump and that, but no, I'm not a bully. So, but fighting to me, it don't phase me in the slightest. Like I don't really get it don't phase me. Do you know what I mean? I've not always been a big kid. I've not always been a big kid either. I was small growing up as a kid. You know, um, but yeah, scrapping for me, like the big difference with Johnny Fisher and me. I'm a natural fighter, really. That's what I do. What I've always done. I've always been a little scrappy fucker. Do you know what I mean? When I was tiny, always been a bit scrappy and that and scrapping, and Johnny's like a manufactured scrapper. Do you know what I mean? He's not a scrapper. He's a manufactured boxer, and I'm naturally like a fighter. Like that's what I do. What I've always done. Um, so in terms of like how I am, like on the Wednesday, if you come into my changing rooms, even 20 minutes before the fight, you'd have still got the same me, still cracking jokes and that. I don't think anything changes till do you know what? Till the fifth round, really. I know to get through a hard few rounds, I've got to stay relaxed, switched on, concentrated, and have my eyes wide open. I don't think you can do that in any other state than complete relaxed frame of mind and stuff. So in the fifth round, when I knew he was going, I knew it was a matter of time, so I took him out. Then probably a little bit, and we thought, right, let's fucking switch it on a bit now and get at him. But I don't think I changed at all up until that point where I think, right, we'll have to go and finish it now. But again, even though I see myself, I've been a fighter all my life, I don't particularly enjoy hurting anybody though. You know, when I landed face first, I didn't take much enjoyment out of it. I don't enjoy hurting people, but I do enjoy. I wouldn't say I enjoy fighting actually, but I was good at, I was always all right. So, so I I do the boxing because it's my job. You know,
Why did you
much how the
start?
country. Why did I start?
Hmm.
I didn't want to get a job. Failed at school miserably, and I shouldn't have. I was a clever kid as well, and just wanted to be the boy. And failed miserably. Went home. My mum said, "Right, well, you have to get a job." I was 16 years of age. I didn't fancy going to work from 16 to 67. Like that wasn't in my. That wasn't for me. Like I was a decent footballer. I was decent at everything, but I was like jack of all trades, master of none. You know, I might be the best in the school at nearly all the sports, but I weren't. I weren't getting picked up for a football team, and I weren't fast enough to, fast enough to win Donny championships and so good South Yorkshire championships. But I weren't going to make a living out of it. So I left school. I weren't going to be able to do anything like that. And I thought, well, what else can I do now? I knew my dad had boxed pro, but never really took any interest in it. And I just said, I remember saying to my mum one day, like, I want to be a boxer. And she'll know what you're talking about. And I said, listen, it's the only sport I've not done. So I want to go to the gym. I went to the gym. And after 4 weeks, the amateur boxing club said, we'll get you a fight now. You're good. So I went home, told my dad, and they laughed at me. He said, you ain't boxing. He said, he's been training 4 weeks. So I'll come and have a look at you. Because I was a good athlete, I was a good athlete. And by this point, I was a big kid now at 16. I was a real growth spurt. I went from about 5'4" to 6'3" in about 6 months. And my dad came and watched me. And he said, you're absolutely useless. Like, you're not boxing in 4 weeks, but you've got something about you. And I'm saying to Brendan Ingles' gym, where he used to train. And that's where it all began, really. and I was terrible. I wasn't a natural. I see myself as like a nat. You would say like I look at myself and I think I do loads of things that like a lot of people can't do. Do a lot of things I can't do, obviously. In terms of my boxing ability, like you think I was a natural, but I wasn't. I'm quite slick in that, really. For I like loads of things. I'm definitely a bit slick in that, but it wasn't natural. I had two left feet. I was terrible. People in the gym, Kid Galahad, and they used to laugh at me doing my footwork drills because I was terrible. Um, but I didn't half graft. From being 16 till I turned pro, there wasn't any harder worker than me around. No one, you wouldn't believe that now. I was the hardest worker you've ever seen. The problem with me is when I get comfortable, I stop working hard, to be honest. I got comfortable, I turned pro. I had a few quid, and it only literally was a few quid, but a few quid to me back then was like £1 million. And I got comfortable. Well, that's where I started. It was either find something to find something to do that I enjoyed or go to work forever. So I found the boxing, and luckily for me, I can say now it paid off.
What made you stick at it? Because it's not like you chose an easy path.
Um, I went to Brendan's and like there was junior weight world champion, Kell Brook was the British champion. John Buster Keaton was the British cruiserweight champion, Richard Towers. I could go on and on. There was loads of good pros there, good people, and I enjoyed going. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning, I would travel an hour and a half on two buses and a train to get to the gym. I would then train, get a bus back to Milan, which was 20 minutes, be in Milan for 2 hours. Then again, I would get another train. I would train for 2 hours. Then I'd get a train and two buses home again. So I was out the house from 7 a.m. to about 8 p.m., 5 days a week. And for the first year at Brendan's, I would also go Saturday, Sunday, which would take me a 3 hour return trip plus the hour and a half at the gym. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I'd never been anywhere, to be honest. I'd never been on an aeroplane till I was 22. I'd only left Doncaster on school trips. So all of a sudden, I'm 16 years of age, and I'm going to Sheffield on the train every day on my own. Got a Meadow Wall. I'm walking around Meadow Wall. Couldn't buy anything, but I walk around Meadow Wall, and it was a bit of a buzz for me, really. The first 12, 18 months was a buzz. I was going about places. Um, I was mixing with these world champion fighters I see on the TV, and that kept me going. I didn't box for 18 months, I think, till I had a fight, actually. I was just training and training and training. And I said, look, you're not ready, you're not ready. Keep training. There's no rush to box. When you box, be ready. Um, so, yeah, the buzz of being an adult, really. All of a sudden, I've never been anywhere. Now I'm 16 and I'm traveling all over on my own and I'm going places, I'm doing things. And yeah, that kept me going. My relationship with Brendan as well. I used to go and see Brendan all the time and do stuff together. And my John Buster Keaton as well, pretty good British cruiserweight champion years ago. And I couldn't wait to get to the gym to see him. As mad, bizarre as that might sound, he was in his mid 30s. His career was winding down. He wasn't a superstar or nothing. He was a good fighter. And I couldn't wait to get to the gym to see him because that day we might body spar or we might do something. And he might say, like, well done, you're getting better. And that was enough for me to come back the next day. Or Brendan might say, oh, you're getting better. But Brendan said that to everyone because he knew how to get you to build your confidence. But I used to go back every day just because I wanted someone to say to me, oh, you're getting better, or you've done this well, or so that's what drove me on really, especially that initial period.
Do you think it was because obviously you've spoken honestly about not having like an emotional closeness with your dad, like he's been in your life
Yeah,
and you've got a good relationship. But did you feel that in some ways being in those boxing gyms were giving you kind of male attention, male structure, male support?
maybe I think I stuck it out because, like I said, I didn't want to do the 9 to 5 thing, and that I'm not saying that because of anything. No one wants to really. Give anyone the option of trying to be a sportsman, you take it. But that was one of the reasons. I wanted my dad to respect me really because when I was a kid, and I could be a little twat, I was scrapping. You know what I mean? But my dad was hard. My dad was a hard man from a hard village, and he was this and that. And I knew he always looked at me like I wasn't the same. And I always wanted to be. I wanted to be hard as a kid, and now I couldn't care less. But as a kid, I want to be like my dad. I want people to think I'm hard. I want him to think I'm hard, and I want to be a boxer like him. So that was a big reason. And I'm not sure really. Like I weren't really looking for a replacement for my old man. My old man was present. He was. My dad was like growing up was hard. My dad always he wouldn't say it was. He thought we had the best upbringing ever. Fucking hell. But it was hard. But to be honest, he was always present. He was there. He was always there. Even when he was being a twat, he was there, and he always pushed us to do good. You know, that's what I would always say. Years ago, I used to look at my child and think, "Fucking hell, they were awful." But as I get a bit older and got my own kids now, I think sometimes it was rough at times, but he was always there, and he always fucking pushed me to do something, even though sometimes his way of pushing you were wrong. He pushed me, so I wasn't really looking for like a replacement father figure to be nice to me, but it was nice to have them people around me to push me on.
That makes sense. Um, One of the questions I always ask is the nature nurture conversation. So, do you believe that a fighter's mindset is something that is they're born with, or it's something that can be built into someone, or do you think it has to be a combination of the two?
You know what? It's so difficult because like people would say like if you said like what attribute is Dave Allen like what's the number one attribute like they'd say like oh he's tough. I've never been tough, genuinely, like never been tough and that. So like it's a fighter's mindset. It's a difficult one, but it's such a boxing's so weird. It's such a difficult thing to explain. Like when I go on the treadmill, I quit all the time because it's too hard for me. Like when I'm doing a circuit, I don't complete it because it's too hard. I quit loads of things. I always quit. But when it comes to actual physical fighting, I'm tough. But there's nothing else I'm tough at in life, really. I break diets all the time. You know what I mean? Like I nearly ruined my life gambling because I couldn't stop gambling. So I'm not tough. I'm mentally very weak, actually. Really weak in lots of ways. But then when it comes to fighting, if I'm in the mood, you could fucking punch me all day. So it's weird. It's really weird. Like people are tough in different ways. I think I'm tough at fighting, but I'm not tough at loads of other things. So in terms of fighter's mindset, I wouldn't. I don't. I'm not a tough man at all. I jump off the treadmill at any given chance. Do you know what I mean? Like I'll do 6 burpees instead of 10. Do you know what I mean? So it's such a hard thing to try and put into words, but I was never tough. I was never tough. Like at school and that, scrapping all that. I was never tough. I was just a better athlete than everybody else and a bit stronger. I mean, bone density is 4 times the average man. Did a body scan that said that.
Really?
So I was never tough. I think people are. I think it is a born thing. But I trained a kid who won last night, 18-0 he is now. Really good fight, good win last night. When I met him, every time he got hit, he jumped on the floor. And now people always go, he's tough him. As he spars, he's tough him. So maybe you can nurture it and you can work on it, I guess. But for me personally, I was never tough, and I don't think I am now. I'm just, but I'm good at fighting.
Do you not think that with the relationship you've got with Jamie, that it's nurturing that side of you, that like belief spirit to kind of like strengthen that sense of mind? No?
No, you know what? I think with Jay, like, it's the first time I've been consistent. I've been doing this a long time. I think I've always had a lot of ability, and like I say, naturally been blessed. I'm very strong. And I hit half hard and tough, and tough in terms of physical toughness and getting hit. I think it's always been there. I just needed to find someone that I trusted and that I wanted to work hard for. And also, I'm ready at this time in my life now. If I'd gone to James 10 years ago, I would have failed there. I'd have failed anywhere. So there's no knocking on that Jamie before. It was timing. I think Jamie and I are the right people, and more importantly, at the right time. We've come together and it's working. So Jamie and I is like they're my friends. That's why it works because they're my friends who also happen to coach me. I couldn't have a relationship where someone's my coach. I need to trust them. I need to go to the gym. They say do this, and I do it. Obviously, sometimes I think, I'm not sure, because you always do. But with them two, like if they ask me to do something, I blindly trust them. Like when you go out to the corner with Jay, he's been there and done it. I watched him as a kid have all these great fights. So like giving that blind trust to you know what he's saying and he's doing it. And we said stick it in and do this. And get for an hour round or do this. You do it. So that's why it works. Because they're my friends first, and then my boxing coach is second. And for me, with the kind of person I am, that's what I need.
So with that, obviously you've spoken gently a couple of times about the fact that you had a couple of fighters in last night, and you have been coaching and managing for the past 6 years. 6 years,
Uh,
6 years
I
you've
think,
got your
you
license,
know what? I've been training fighters forever.
but you got your licenses and stuff about 6 years
License, I've been
ago.
license holder maybe 5 years, I think. Five.
And how are you finding that?
It's funny because when people said I'm going to manage fighters, they laugh their head off you. They laughed. Everyone's like, can't do. How can you do that? You can't look after yourself. And they was probably right at the time, but apparently a man's brain doesn't fully develop till he's 28. And I can feel that, like 28, 29, 30, starts to get my shit together. So I get more enjoyment out of training boxers than I do boxing myself. I train three boxers now, or two of them. Calvin and Joe both had one amateur fight and lost it. When I met them, they had 20 pro fights and won them all. So I think they had like 42 fights and won 38 amateur and pro between them. So I train them on my patio or in a field. People say it ain't gonna work, and it is working. So I take a lot of really happy about it. They're nice kids. I only want to train nice kids. I only train and manage my friends really. So I train three kids, and I think I managed five altogether, including them three. And I enjoy it. I don't particularly enjoy the management too much. But a lot of them on small or boxing, I don't want someone taking a percentage off me to do something that I can do for nothing, even if it is stressful. Um, so yeah, I was yeah, I was laughed at first, but since we had fighters on his own, we had champion European, silver champions, area champions, um, and made some nice people very happy. That's the most important thing for me. Like I've given people opportunities, and yeah, that's what it is for me. It's just about just trying to better some people's lives. That's all it is, really. Yeah,
I think you underestimate your own mental strength. You said earlier in this interview already that you don't think you're mentally very strong, but actually you've taken. I remember hearing you say, because obviously I've heard you speak a lot in the last week while I've been catching up on
yeah.
podcasts and all that kind of thing. And I remember things, and you said, now my brain's gone blank. You said something alluding to the fact that you know you're an overachiever. You were an overachiever basically when you had your first amateur fight. You were an overachiever when you
Yeah.
had your first professional fight. So at this point, you're just like, hey. And I think the fact that you set these goals, you achieve these goals, even if you don't believe the goals are happening, but you still stick around long enough for those goals to come to fruition. I think you're a lot more mentally strong than you think you are. I think the fact that people laughed at you for saying that you would manage and coach, and you have now gone on to do what you've done, shows that skill, knowledge, capacity to double down and go against the grain, even if people tell you it can't be so. So I think actually you're a lot more mentally strong than you give yourself credit for. What is the what's like your formula that you think is really important to feed into fighters? Because obviously you're still in the game. It's not like you've finished your trajectory. You're actually going on a brand new spike right now. So what's your formula that you think from everything you've learned so far that you think is the most important to put into those younger fighters?
You know what? I think it's just trust, really. I think you have to trust your methods. My methods, like, there's nothing new under the sun. Like the kids I train, if people watch them train, they go, well, Brendan Ingle used to make his fighters do that. Or, oh, they do that at Jamie Moore's gym, or they do that at Peter Fury's, or wherever else I've been. So for me, I pick and choose things I like from where I've been. I've been everywhere the last 17 years. I've trained everywhere with all the best coaches in the world. I've been at sparring camps, and I'll pick things up. And I knew I was going to do a little bit of coaching. So I'd always like note things down, what I was doing. in the Klitschko's, we were in the Klitschko camp, and I'd watch his preparation for even sparring. Um, like I said, training at the Ingle gym, the footwork drills or the pads or the combinations you do on the blows, or go to Jay's and we do a certain circuit that gets me fit. Well, if it gets me fit, maybe get another kid fit. Maybe it won't get him fit, but it'll get him fit. So yeah, there's nothing under the sun in terms of training methods. So you take what works and you try and you put it all together for a kid and hope it works for them, and it might not work for him, but it might work for him. So in terms of the training methods, it's not really too hard, really. And then I've got a lot of experience, um, so I need a lot more experience in the corner in terms of actually boxing and game plans and stuff. Which Jamie Moore is probably the best that I've worked with. He's very clever with his boxing. So I think I've got good boxing brains. I'm good with that, and they trust me. They trust me blindly. Like they know what I'm doing it for. They know I'm literally doing it to help them. So they'll do anything. They'll do everything for me. In terms of, I mean, like 100% effort in the training and the fighting. That's all I want from them. I don't want the money. One of the kids I train them on is 10%. I get it and I put it in the bank and I'm saving it. And he can have it and there's enough for a deposit on his house. He ain't having it till then though. I told him the other day, he texted me the other day, fuck off. We'll get it somewhere else. You're not touching this. And the others, like, if I take money off him, which is very rarely, I give it back down the line doing something else. So I don't do it for the money. I make my own money, you know. And if it comes to a point where I'm in the boxing to make money off someone else, I won't be doing it no more. It has to be a passion. It has to be. Has to be. The best trainers I work with don't need the money. Obviously it's the job and that, but they don't do it for the money. If you're doing it for the money, you're not going to do the same job. I don't think. All the top trainers are passionate, all of them. And they do it for the love of it, and the money's a bonus. That's how it should be. So, I think with my boxers, yeah, they walk through walls for me. I know they would, and the only reason they do that is because they know I do it for them as well. So that's the most important thing. That's the same with me, Jay and Nige. I know they do it for me, so I'm going to get 100% for them as well.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer. I think my observation would be I've trained in a lot of gyms, not obviously to your level, but I don't think it's quite as simple as regurgitating, because I've worked with coaches who regurgitate the basics, or they regurgitate similar things, but they don't regurgitate it in a way that lands, or it doesn't feel as honest, or it doesn't feel as like it makes sense. And then you work with someone who it does make sense, or it lands with you, or it feels good. And I think, again, you're underestimating the factor of you into this equation, which is what you bring to the table and how you regurgitate that and teach that in, because you have winners, and not everybody has winners no matter how much knowledge they have. um
It's all relationship based though. That's the thing. You have to have relationships with these people. I think I've trained 10 boxers now. Um, I've still got three of them. I trained a female boxer, outstanding talent, unbelievable. I had her for 6 months. I had her for one fight and she lost it in the ABA semi final. She's in China now, 6-0, like top 10 in the world, I think. But it didn't work with me and her. Like she's a great friend of mine, great talent, unbelievable talent, but I just couldn't get around to my way of thinking. Do you know what I mean? And that's fine as well. We're left on great terms. Every time she boxes, she messages me when I box with friends, but it didn't work. Like I do think training a boxer, some people it works for some people. Some of the best trainers in the world, like Jamie and I, some of the best in the game. But there's certain kids that go there and it wouldn't work. And then same with anybody, to be honest. Like me and Joe Hayden, he's had 22 fights together. He's won all 22. It works. The personal relationship as well as yeah, you have to have a personal relationship as well. I think it has to work. Like there's more to it than just he knows his boxing. He's a good boxer. Put them together. I think there's a lot more to it than that. It has to a little bit of magic sometimes. When the right person, right boxer, with the right trainer, a bit of magic can happen. Whether that's world champion or area champion, depending on the kid's ability. But sometimes you get a bit of magic when the right person meets the right person. I think I've always thought
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. One of the other things I thought about when I heard you saying about the fact that you've been an overachiever. You've achieved more than you ever thought that you'd be able to. I've also heard you kind of say that you don't feel like you would necessarily do well or win out on a situation with some of the best in the heavyweight division at the moment. Do you feel that that is still a limitation based on where you've come from in your head rather than actual truth, because you've continually beaten the odds within yourself? So could this be something that you could actually show up and shock yourself depending on changes in different training, different camp, different nutrition, whatever it is that might shift, different mindset, whatever? Do you think it would be possible because you've already gone above and beyond what you
Yeah,
thought you could?
it's difficult because I've sparred the best fighters in the world for years. Did it so badly out of shape? I'm not really sure. Is that finger? I'm not really sure. I've been about 30% of my ability. Like, am I any good really? Because the honest truth is, I'm still not sure how good I am. I'm not sure how good. No one knows how good Johnny Fisher is. He beat Babbage, to the other kids out. Oh, he's really good. I beat him. It's like, oh well, is he any good? I don't know if he's any good myself. I'll have to. He's gonna have to come back and box some other decent fighters and see how he gets on. So the honest truth is, I'm not sure how good I am. I do not. I couldn't tell you. I'm not really sure. I know I've got ability. I know I'm a good fighter, but I don't know how good. I've sparred world champions and I sparred some of the best fighters in the world and got the better of them in spars. I've also been beat up hundreds of times by the same people. So, do you know what I mean? Like, I know on my day I'm capable of holding my own with anybody. But I think a lot of it is like I'm David Allen from Doncaster. How am I going to be one of the? How can I hang around with these superstar names? But then I'm sure Anthony Joshua probably sits at home and thinks, "Well, I'm Anthony Joshua, and look where I'm from." And he made it, and as did all these other world champions. So I guess it's like it's hard. I've always been like probably low confidence, and I'm an overthinker. Like I think about everything. I think some of these people like really achieve. They don't think, like they just do it. Whereas I'm an overthinker. I take everything into consideration. I think about everything, and I can talk myself out of achieving sometimes and believing because I'm just so very self-aware. Me, I can't. I'm very self-aware, too self-aware sometimes to the point where I can't enjoy anything.
I was just smiling there because I relate quite heavily. I'm deeply self-aware, and it's to the point of my detriment at times. Um, but you learn how to navigate it and manage it. So I guess in this situation, my question would be: would you be willing to put yourself out there to find out how good you are?
Yeah, we're gonna find out now. We are gonna find out. Yeah, yeah. I'm back in the gym Tuesday with Jay and Nigel over there. It cost me a fortune staying over there. I don't enjoy being away from home, but I've got an opportunity now. There's a small window of time now where I can find out. I make a hell of a lot of money doing it as well. But I can find out, the money's great, but I'd love to know how good I am. And if the answer's not as good as I hope, that's fine. But for many years, I was scared of finding out and failing. But at this point in my life now, I've lost 7 times. A lot of people perceive me to not be very good anyway. What is it to lose? That's my mind frame. So I'm going to give it 100%, yeah. Will I weigh in a bit heavy again at some point in my career? Probably. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm going to be consistent, be in the gym. And like the Fisher performance the other day, like I said, how good is Johnny Fisher? We don't know. But I wouldn't have put that kind of performance in if I wasn't in the gym. I've been in the gym for 10 weeks, 4 days a week in Manchester and then back home on a Friday. It was a good performance, really. Whatever level it is, or I am, or he is, it was a good performance. So hopefully, keep training, I can keep getting better and keep boxing like that as I go up the levels. How far I can go, I do not know.
I think that's the beauty of it, isn't it? It's the excitement of being a human. It's I know that one of the things that used to block my own ability to want to try was because whenever I failed, there was a deep rooted narrative that basically told me, like, see, I told you you weren't good enough at this. And now I don't listen to those voices because I'm like, a failure is always a learning, a fall down is always a learning, a veered path. I think also I related when you talked about your nan and saying that you felt like you became a man after she passed because it was one of the the toughest things. And I think grief teaches you how to sort of solidify on the inside but soften a little on the outside. You teach, like, you learn compassion and things in a way differently. You kind of honor yourself a bit differently, but also the thing that you're scared of the most, to lose people, to have heartbreak, and then you survive it, you're like, oh, okay, I'm stronger than I thought I was. I can handle things better than I thought I was. That was my experience anyway. I lost like 6 people in the space of like 18 months, which was pretty crazy. But I related, and I understood what you were saying about that. And I think the shifts and the changes and the growth, and also becoming a dad, I'm sure that's probably been pretty impactful on your way of viewing yourself and viewing the world, because these two little people think you're the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah, it's been a mad couple of years, really. Just like I said, I think I got 28, 29, and as a man, you you're meant to mature then, and I did really. Yeah, just it's all happened so fast. Um, but I've never been happier, to be honest. I'm pretty content with myself. I think that's helped me as well. To the pressure of myself. Um, I can only do my best, and sometimes my best might only be 70%. I can't keep out of the fridge, no matter what I do, unless you handcuff me to the fucking radiator. I'm gonna go in the fridge after 10 o'clock and get some chocolate. So sometimes my best, when I say to you I'm trying my best, that's my 100%. That might be someone else's 60% or 50%. Well, that's my 100%. So all I want to do from here on is just give my 100%. And I don't profess to be an angel, or I'm gonna come in with a six pack. I'm not, but I'll give you my 100%. I did it the other day, so we'll see if that's good enough.
But I think it's been it definitely, you've definitely sort of set a precedent in the industry for kindness, respect, sense of humor, humility. And I think that there should be more of that in this industry, because you're all human beings and you're warriors. And I think emotions are not separate to boxing. They are hand in hand, and they are part of the process. And I think that, that creates a character in you that people want to get behind, support, encourage. Do you think that you'll as you're kind of moving up in this, will you cross over more into, because you've obviously been doing some of the commentary and things like that, will you continue to do that, or will you kind of park it and pick it up when you're less, will you make it all work together?
I'm just a boxer, me. I don't do anything else. Do you know what I mean? People are always like, "Oh, look how many interviews he does and this and that." I never asked to do them. I do them when I'm asked. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not really a spotlight person. Once I enjoy it, quite introverted, really. Um, like I can be the loudest, biggest joke you've ever seen, but I'm also quite introverted, so I don't particularly enjoy all that stuff, really. Um, yeah, well, if you saw me at home, like, I'll just sit in the corner of the room with the kids playing Pokemon. Or, you know what I mean? Listen to music on YouTube, that's my thing. When I'm at home, there's a camera in my face, like I can tell a few jokes, and if I'm in the right mood, but really, like, I'm just chill at home, me. Like, I'm not really interested in all that stuff. I'm hopeful I can make a few quid the next few years and, just like live a nice, quiet life out of the way, really. Do the training and managing. But just, yeah, I'm content now, you know. I don't make any noise. All the people I grew up with, they don't, I don't see them, they don't hear from me. Like, you go around my own town and that. Go around my own town and ask people, like, oh, what's their name? I'm like, 99% say, I don't know, I've never seen them. That's the truth. Like, they wouldn't know me, they don't see me. No one's not seen me for 15 years. I went to the boxing in Doncaster last night. Everyone was like, bloody hell, Dave, you're doing well. And I've not seen you there for 10 years. Do you know what I mean? That's what I really am. So, but yeah, I hope the way I carry myself, I want to set an example now. Not that I used to be a bad example, but my life was, I had a few problems in that, and I couldn't hold them in. So in lots of ways, um, I think I helped a lot of people by doing that. But these days now, I try and carry myself in a professional manner, and hopefully the next generation. So I'm nowhere near the best fighter in the world, but I'm aware I do have a platform now, and well known and well seen, and hopefully people will go, "Oh, Dave Allen carries himself well. That's how it should be done." And if I can have success, um, being how I'm being, which is myself, which is sound, just one of the lads, being sound. Then hopefully the next generation of us will see that and go, well, we don't need to be throwing tables or kicking off or making mad noise. We can just be ourselves and get along, and people will like that and appreciate that. So that's all I'm doing now. Done with the jokes and that. I'm not done with the jokes at all. I'm funny sometimes, but done with all. I'm done with any kind of immaturity and name calling. I want to box the people I like, and have a nice time and box. That's it, really.
Yeah, I think that's a really good goal to have, and I think it's a goal that's needed. I think there's a kind of a wave of people that I've spoken to lately who are more inclined to do the way that you're doing it, which is with respect, kindness, humor, and I hope that that will feed into the younger generations, that they don't need to do the kind of clickbait trash talk if that's not what actually their personality is, or they actually don't feel that way towards a fighter, because it's not needed if you don't feel it. Um, like Connor Ben, Chris Eubank, there was genuine animosity. So, whatever. But I don't feel like everybody needs to move with that sort of energy.
No, you got to be yourself. I think that's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Be yourself. If someone don't like it, then that's a shame. But can't be helped, can it?
No. One last question before I'm going to let you go, because I know you're very tired today and I very much
My
appreciate.
child is literally asleep. She's fast asleep. Like I'm literally got my hand on her leg now. She's fast asleep, bless her. I suppose I've been looking at the whole time thinking, don't wake up, don't wake up.
And she's still out cold.
Fast asleep, yeah, she's
Oh,
knackered.
bless her. You can curl up and have a nap afterwards.
I'm going to join her after this,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I mean. Just curl up, fall down sideways. Um, okay, well, let's do two questions. I have a feeling I know how you're going to answer one of them, but I'll ask it anyway. So the first one is, what would you want to change if you could have power in the industry? What would you want to change in the boxing industry?
Well, the boxing industry is the boxing industry. It isn't going to change. You know,
Let's just say that there's like you have a magic wand.
I just want a fair playing field, really. Not so much the industry in terms of like the fighters themselves. You know, the biggest problem we face, I think, in professional boxing is drugs. It's performance enhancing drugs. That's the biggest problem we face, to be honest. Um, yeah, but oh, how do we just coughing. Yeah, but that's what I would change. Just so everyone was on a level playing field. That's what I would change.
Yeah, I think that's a good one to change, because I think too many people are able to utilize it and get away with it based on cycles and whatever. Um, Final question then. And like I said, I think I know how you're going to answer this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. If the sky was the limit, no blockages and limitations, what would you want for your career? Magic wand.
Well, I mean, I'd like to be heavyweight champion of the world, wouldn't we all? Um, that's the obvious answer. That's the answer that anyone would give. But if we're going to be realistic,
No, I don't want realism. I want
being
dreams.
real, being realistic, I just keep performing on these big stages. Keep performing, winning. Winning the fights I should be winning. Like last week, performing, entertaining, making people happy. And being a good role model and influence. Really, that's become a big thing for me now. When I was younger, 10 years ago, I was like, what do I care? But I do care now. When you have kids, if you're and it ain't much power. I've got a tiny little bit of influence on the young kids out watching the boxing. If I can, if they watch me and go, oh, he's a nice guy, I can be a nice guy as well, then that's good. That's a better world for my kids to grow up in. So that's it, really. Entertain, try my best, and just be a good role model on the youth watching boxing. That's it for me. Being world champion, great. But I'm a realist, me, painful realist. Probably not going to happen. So I settle for the entertaining, trying my best, and then being the best person I can be. So it's to for the youth to hopefully aspire to be good.
I love the answer, but also your realist isn't always the realist. So
I'm the realist.
yeah,
I am the realist.
you're
I'm
not.
the realist guy going.
Yeah, but you've been wrong before. So
Tell me when I've been wrong before. One time.
you said I'm an overachiever by just having my first amateur fight. I never should have been able to do
No,
that.
I've been an overachiever.
So
Definitely.
you didn't even realize you could achieve that.
No, but if you'd asked me, old man, when I was as a kid, you never thought that. Primary school, you just come home getting bullied, crying. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, his sister used to batter me all the time. His sisters, both of them. So, you know what I mean? You don't think, oh, he's going to be a great boxer one day.
Yeah, but
So yeah, I have overachieved. Overachieved. We're all overachievers. We're all overachievers. We all are. I like to give everyone credit for everything. Anyone that does anything,
yeah, no,
well done. You've achieved. You've overachieved. But none of us. We're not given nothing, are we? Whatever we achieve, we deserve it. We've overachieved. We've done it. We've done something. So that's how I like to live. Give myself a bit of credit where I can as well.
of course.
Yeah.
Well, I think that you have the capabilities way beyond what you think you have. And I know I'm not the only one who thinks that, but I think it's a beautiful journey to be a part of. And I feel quite lucky I get to observe it on the sidelines. Um, David, thank you for your time,
Thank you very much. No, thank you.
for your energy, for I know this has been a very amazing but busy and long 2 weeks for you. And I strong armed you into having this conversation and you obliged.
Yeah. I can't say no, mate. That's my problem. I have.
What, been strong armed into it?
Yeah, I'm weak. Weak guy. Just wants to do something. Okay. You just want to say something like, "Do you want to do this?" And my brain's going, "No," but I'll just go, "Yeah, of course I will." Yeah, and
I
then
gave
I'll
you an
always,
out. I
and then
gave you
I'll
an
always,
out.
then I'll always say that I'll do it in 4 days' time because 4 days really should never come around, but it always does.
It always does.
Yeah, so I have to do it come around quick.
The thing is, though, I gave you an out. I said to you, if you don't want to do it, you can just say, and it's good. And he was like, you're like, no, I'll
No,
do it. I'll just
no,
do it next Saturday.
no, no one ever means that when they say that, but it
I
is.
I
No,
do.
no, it's good.
I
Look,
have,
if anyone ever asks me to do anything, yeah, I usually will do it. So anyone watching this or yourself, don't ask me things in future, please. Just don't ask me anything, please. No
you,
problem.
you need better boundaries.
Yeah, tired man.
Yeah.
I'm a people pleaser, to
I
be
know.
honest. Yeah.
But you need to keep some of that for you, she says graciously, because I've actually managed to steal some of your time.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm going to say now.
I appreciate it.
All right, nice one. All right, thank you.
Take care of yourself. Have a lovely
Bye
rest of
bye.
your day.
And you. Bye bye.